On the 16th of October 2012, Malala woke up in hospital. It was 5 days after the shooting. The first thing she thought was, "Thank God I'm not dead." But she had no idea where on earth she was, what had happened to her, or where her family were. A tube in her neck prevented her from speaking. Her vision was blurry, so everyone around her had 4 eyes and 2 noses. It must have felt like an alien abduction. Malala would later learn that she was in intensive care in Birmingham's Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Where's Birmingham again? When Dr. Fiona came, she brought Malala a teddy and a pink exercise book to write in. That exercise book became Malala's mouthpiece. Dr. Fiona was one of the British doctors who gave Malala critical care in Pakistan. She tried to reassure Malala that her father, Ziauddin, was safe and not to stress about the cost of her treatment. But Malala didn't trust anyone and repeated the same questions about her father and medical costs to everyone she saw. Finally, Dr. Javed Kayani used his mobile phone to call Malala's family. Dr. Javed was the other British doctor who treated Malala in Pakistan. He told her not to cry as he gave her the phone. Although Malala couldn't speak to them, she was so excited to hear their voices. Meanwhile, the military back in Swat Valley had found out who Malala's attackers were. They were from a gang of 22 Taliban thugs from Malala's hometown of Mingora. Hang on, didn't the army clear the Taliban out of Swat Valley? Yeah, right. Not only had they not cleared them all out, but the army had also known the Taliban were hanging around for the last 2 months. Ziauddin wanted to rage about this, but he knew it would get him nowhere. Hey team, just a reminder, if you like this video, please hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell. It really helps the channel out, and our next upload could be on something taught in your next class. Thanks, and back to the video. When Malala finally saw herself in a mirror, she was shocked. All her beautiful hair was gone, and the left side of her face was distorted. She reached for her pink book. "Who did this to me?" she wrote. That's when Dr. Fiona told Malala some details about the shooting, including where the bullet had landed. Malala couldn't remember being shot, but she remained calm and thought, so they did it. She had no bad feelings towards her attacker. She just wanted to go home. When she got her voice back, she was eager to speak to her parents. It would still be another 10 days before they were reunited. So, what do you do when you're stuck in bed for 10 days? Binge on movies and KFC. Halal KFC, of course. Little did she know of the media frenzy outside the hospital. It seemed like the whole world wanted to know how Malala was doing. Well-wishers flooded in from everywhere, including from major celebrities like Selena Gomez, Beyoncé, Madonna, and Angelina Jolie. Instead of silencing Malala, the Taliban made her campaign go viral. Malala's parents arrived on the same day that she was moved out of intensive care. She now had a window. It all looked very calm and organised out there in England. But where were the mountains? Malala missed her valley. When her family finally walked through the door, everyone started crying. Malala's parents did a bad job of hiding their shock over her appearance. Half her face wasn't working. Had the Taliban snatched her heavenly smile away? A young thug named Ataullah Khan was identified as Malala's alleged attacker. The Pakistan government put a $1 million bounty on his head and promised to catch him. But Malala and her family were sceptical. The Taliban have a way of slipping through the army's fingers. In November, Malala had an 8-hour operation to repair her facial nerve. It went well, but it was still another 3 months before the left side of her face started working, bit by bit. She started reading again and recited Pashto poems to her father. This proved that her memory was fine. Soon, it was time to hit the gym to get her limbs moving again. In December, almost 2 months after the shooting, Malala had her first trip out of the hospital. She enjoyed a cream tea in Birmingham's Botanical Gardens. Ah, the healing power of tea and scones. A few days later, Pakistan's president, Asif Zardari, came to visit Malala. What a kerfuffle that caused! But it was worth it. His government paid for her treatment, rented an apartment for her family, and gave Ziauddin an important diplomatic job. He was to be Pakistan's education attaché in the consulate in Birmingham. That meant they could all stay in the UK. In January, at long last, Malala was discharged from the hospital. Hooray! She joined her family in their shiny high-rise apartment and started adjusting to her new life. Seeing the way people dressed and mixed freely in England definitely took some getting used to. Malala still found it hard to feel safe when she was out in public. She felt like everyone had a gun. In February, Malala had another surgery to mend her skull and fit her left ear with a cochlear implant. Good as new. Well, close enough. In other amazing news, the 2 girls who were shot alongside Malala, Shazia Ramzan and Kainat Riaz, were also given places in British schools. That's a win-win. In March, Malala and her family moved into a home on a leafy street. They were still adjusting to life in England and missed their community, but they were relieved to be alive, safe and together. In April, Malala started school in Birmingham and enjoyed the absence of fear as she went about her day. But she also felt the absence of her friends. Making new friends would take time. Malala marvelled at how women in Britain had all kinds of jobs and dressed however they liked. She also liked the way people respected the police and how things ran on time. But there were no flat roofs to play cricket on, and their house felt empty without visitors. She doesn't think about the shooting very often, except for the odd flashback which can stop her in her tracks. Malala has continued to collect awards from all over the world. She's also the youngest person ever to be nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize. This is all fabulous, but education is Malala's passion, not receiving medals. On her 16th birthday, Malala spoke at the United Nations headquarters in New York. It was a very high-profile event in which she called on world leaders to give free education to every child. They gave her a standing ovation. Sadly, Malala's own country seemed to snub her after her UN speech. In fact, Pakistan's social media was buzzing with haters, complaining that she was attention-seeking. Never mind those haters, girlfriend. Then she received a letter from a Taliban commander. He said the Taliban would forgive her if she returned to Pakistan, wore a burqa, and studied Islam. The nerve of these goons! No doubt Malala would return to her beautiful Swat Valley, but on her own terms. In the meantime, she's got her work cut out for her. Millions of children around the world are still not receiving a proper education. Girls continue to be attacked and killed, some because they want an education, Others because they just want to laugh and dance. Malala plans to get the best education she possibly can, so she can fight more effectively for her cause. Her world may have changed, but she did not. She is still Malala, and she still wants peace, education, and happiness for all. What a true champion. Will you embrace Malala's cause? The fact that you've gotten to the end of this lesson means you probably already have. Good for you. We hope you enjoyed this Schooling Online production. For more easy lessons, check out our other videos.